Hello, everyone, and I am back with our reading for The Trouble with Chickens. So, today we're going to be reading chapters 12 through 17, and I know again that sounds like a lot, but I promise it'll go quick. They're short chapters, but I just want to make sure that we get through the entire book before the end of the school year, and I think between this video and the next one, we should be able to do that. So, let's get started with chapter 12. Come on down. The stairs leading up to the back door were steep and narrow. Each one sagged a little more than the one above it. The back door was rusty and crooked, with one small window and a floral shade. I steadied myself on my back paws and then peered in through the strip of glass beneath the bottom of the shade. I could see down a long, dark corridor with polished linoleum floor. Off to the right, I could just make out the edge of a refrigerator in an orange kitchen. Straight ahead, at the end of the hallway, was a dark room with a big screen TV showing a game show. The game show host was laughing while an energetic woman in a wrinkled green dress was jumping up and down. So there's JJ's view right now, and my dog has come to say hi to all of us, so here he is. It was dizzying. I had to look away to clear my head. I looked back down the long, dark corridor. I could make out the dim, gleaming arc of a giant plastic cone. So who do we think that is? Vince was sitting on the couch, but only for a second. Before I can even get my front paws back down to the top step, he leaped off that couch and charged the back door. Except at the moment that Vince should have been crashing through the doggy door, he was just crashing. He was trying to get out, but the funnel had other ideas. That mutt was in the fight of his life, with his own neck. He lost the fight. But I have to admit, at that moment, he'd have won just a little bit of my respect if it hadn't been for the fact that he spent his entire life drinking out of a toilet bowl. It was time to pull Sugar off the bird bath. One problem. There was nothing in that bird bath but dirty water and a wet note. Sugar was gone. I didn't need the note to tell me where she was. She was in the house. Call it a hunch. I met up with Moosh and Dirk back in my doghouse and showed them the note. 3 down, 1 to go. I thought Moosh might crack into a million pieces. Here are the hard facts. I can't get into that house. Vince will smell me coming a mile away. But we need more information if we're going to get them out of there. Dirt was all ears. Moosh was all mouth. I can fit through the door. I'll go in, she said. Her left foot was bouncing up and down again. That strange tick was really getting on my nerves. I've seen you under pressure, I answered. Bad plan. There's only one of us that can pull this off. Dirt planted her feet, raised her dark eyes, and stuck out her skinny chest. She looked like a toothpick with a head. She was about to speak when a ladybug flew by. Pretty polka dots, she remarked. Oh, brother. So what do you think their chances are of getting the chicks out of the house? I don't think they're too good. All right, chapter 13, rehearsal. Search and rescue dogs were a rare breed. We have to be half strength, half perseverance, and half obedience. Do your own math, tough guy. I'm making a point here. If you don't have the good sense to follow orders, you are about as useful on a search and rescue mission as a scoop of vanilla ice cream. I wasn't sure what Dirt was made of, but I'd seen her follow Sugar around and do what she was told. If ever there was going to be a search and rescue chicken, she was it. If ever there was a mutt who could train a search and rescue chicken, it was me. I had 1 hour to teach a baby bird what had taken me and every other working dog I know more than 2 years of training to learn. Luckily, we had plenty of chicken feed. Turns out I'm a natural. I used a stick in the dirt floor of the doghouse to draw a diagram of what I had seen of the layout of the house. It looked something like this. So there's the diagram, and there's JJ telling the plan to Dirt. I was going to go straight up the front steps and cause a distraction. When Dirt heard Vince barking, she was going to run in through the doggy door and make a mad dash for the couch. Then the funnel made it impossible for Vince to get into small spaces. Once Dirt was under the couch, she would be safe long enough to catch her breath. Her mission was to look for any signs of her siblings and then get out. Dirt was paying close attention. Mooch did the same. We went over it a dozen times. Every time Dirt repeated my instructions back to me, she got a paw full of chicken feed. Run, hide, breathe, watch, run. I call it RHBWR, but it's hard to pronounce. We practiced our HBWR for an hour. Well, an hour in dog time, which is 7 hours in people time, which translate into 43 hours into chicken time. It was a long time. Moosh didn't interfere. That's when I knew something was up. Interference was Moosh's middle name. I was about to send her chick into a strange house with an angry dog, and she had nothing to say. I was so busy being search and rescue teacher of the year that I didn't realize who the actual student was. I thought I was training Dirt, but I had actually trained Moosh. She stuck around just long enough to learn what she needed to know. Then she used Dirt to distract me while she snuck off to RHBWR. I had no idea how long she'd been gone. So that's not good because now Moosh is in the house. And that was not their plan, was it? Okay, so now we're at chapter 14, all in the timing. Chicken Mom crashed through the doggy door looking for a fight. For once, I was actually grateful for the funnel. It saved my ears from some nasty pecks. Relax, Mom, I said. They're all here. We've been expecting you. I nodded toward the couch. I couldn't tell the chicks apart unless they opened their mouths, which they did now, peeping like crazy. I told them to keep their mouths shut. I'm not leaving here without them, she said. I don't want your chicks, I said. I want your big dumb friend outside. JJ? Asked Chicken Mom. What for? I got as close to her face as I could. What do you care? She didn't flinch. She was one tough bird. She just wanted her chicks back and wanted out. I had to get her to trust me. Before I could say another word, I heard Hero Dog coming up the back steps. If I were you, Chicken Mom, I warned, I'd get out of the way. Uh-oh, what do you think's gonna happen? Alright, chapter 15, covered in dirt. Vince was going to be on Moosh's tail the moment she got inside, and she was too big to fit under the couch. This wasn't a search anymore. It was a rescue. Rescue is where I belong. Sometimes there's a plan, sometimes there's only adrenaline. Sometimes adrenaline is all you need. It was just a short sprint over the damp yard to get to the back door. The grass was slippery and cool under my feet. I was off so fast I couldn't have changed my mind if I wanted to. Dirt held onto my collar as I barreled across the yard, up the steps, and straight through the doggy door. I had a bad feeling went through me like a shiver. The walls were a dingy blur as we slid down the long corridor. I cleared the couch, but the room was too short. I dug my nails into the small, flowery carpet. The rug carried me like a sled. Dirt was as good as scrambled egg if she slammed into that wall. I flipped my head back and threw her off. At that moment, I realized what the bad shiver was about. Vince should have been barking the moment Moosh set foot through the door, but I hadn't heard a bark out of Vince for hours. It was the last thing I remember before everything went black. So that's not good. Now JJ is knocked out because he slid across the room on a rug, and Dirt is in the house, defenseless, and now we have Moosh trying to get her chicks back. So let's see what happens. In chapter 16, Dog Day Afternoon. This chapter is in Vince the Funnel's point of view. Hero Dog knocked himself out. I hadn't planned on it, but it was a nice touch. As for the chickens, everything went almost exactly as rehearsed. The smallest one seemed to have second thoughts, but a nudge of plastic cone moved her along. Hero Dog was exactly where I wanted him, and the chicks didn't have a clue. Chicken Mom was my only problem. She was pretty uptight about the whole thing. I had to buy some time. Hey you, I pointed to one of the chicks. Run outside and get your mom a nice chicken feed snack. Chicken Mom eyed me suspiciously while the smallest one ran out the doggy door. See? Nothing to worry about, Mom. You can leave any time you like. I lied. The rain had started up again, with thunder and lightning to boot. The smallest chick was back with the feed in a flash. Have a snack and stay dry, I said. I put on the TV to sweeten the deal. Chicken Mom and her brood were warm, dry, and staying put. Five chickens in here is 5 too many. I was looking forward to the peace and quiet that nightfall would bring. I'm going to get rid of all of them, and I don't even have to leave the house. Unlike our Hero Dog, I didn't need years of training. I was born brilliant. So is anyone really disliking Vince the Funnel? Because I am. I don't think he's a very nice person at all. Okay, so we're here at our last chapter of the day, Dog in the Can. I woke up Oh, and this chapter is back in J.J. Tully's point of view. I woke up behind bars. Either something had gone terribly wrong or I was back in Detroit. I jumped to my feet and tried to get my bearings. It was dark outside. A clock ticked. A faucet leaked. Plop, tick, plop, tock, plop, tick. I was locked inside a dog crate in the kitchen. Vince was outside the crate. Inside dog, outside dog. Interesting twist. He had a chick on either side, like a set of dusty bookends. The rest of the flock was behind him. It's about time, said one of the bookends. Poppy and Sweetie, I presume, I snarled. My mind was spinning, but my eyes were steady. I set them on Moosh. She met my eyes. I knew there wasn't a single chicken in that room I could trust. It was a trick. He used us to lure you, she stammered. I'm done with you, Millicent, I interrupted. She winced when I called her by her real name. I took my eyes off Moosh and planted them on Vince. It doesn't seem like anybody here needs rescuing, I said. Poppy and Sweetie giggled nervously. They got themselves in here, they can get themselves out, answered Vince. That's more than I can say for you, added Poppy. I bared my teeth. Poppy backed away from the bars, but he was right. The door of the cage was locked with a sliding bolt. I had no idea how I was going to get out. Moosh gathered up her chicks and left the room without a word. Vince sauntered over to his water bowl by the refrigerator. Now that his giant funnel was out of the way, I could see the note hanging on the fridge. Dog walker, please take Vince to his vet appointment at 2 p.m. Monday. He will be getting ear tubes and staying at the animal hospital. Thank you. Barb. I was on my way to the vet for ear tubes. I had to get out of that cage. I've pulled people out of all kinds of places. Cars, caves, crevices, and sewer pipes, but not once have I come across a lock. I needed a plan, but my head still hurt. Plop, tick, plop, tock, plop, tick. I needed a nap. So things aren't really looking good for J.J. Tully, are they? And now we know why Vince was stealing the chicks and luring J.J. Tully into the house because he didn't want to go to the vet? Craziness. All right, so let's go to our slideshow and we'll answer some questions. So why did Vince write a note that said 3 down, 1 to go? This is back in chapter 13, I think. So what do you all think? Why did he write that note? I'll give you a few seconds. Sugar had gone into the house, and now he had 3 of Moosh's baby chicks. 3 out of the 4. So what was the RHBWR plan? What was JJ drilling into Dirt's head right before Moosh ran off to do it for him? Run, hide, breathe, watch, and run. That was what Dirt was supposed to do when she was inside the house. But we all know that didn't happen because Moosh beat her to it. Why did JJ think something was up after going over the rescue plan with Dirt? So why did JJ think something was up? What was different that was going on about Moosh that hadn't been going on throughout the whole entire story? Moosh always interfered, and this time she did not. She let JJ get through his whole entire lesson and training with Dirt, didn't say a word. Didn't seem like she was worried about the fact that Dirt was going to go into the house by herself with a big dog with a funnel on his neck. So that's how JJ knew something was up, because Moosh did not interfere. Why did Vince say he captured the chicks? So what was Vince's reasoning for telling Moosh that he captured her chicks? He wanted JJ, he didn't want the chicks. So he lured JJ into the house because he knew JJ would want to rescue the chicks. And what happened to JJ inside the house? I have to speed this along a little bit because I'm going to run out of time. He was running and he knocked himself out. And lastly, when JJ came to, where was he? He woke up behind bars. He was locked in a dog crate in the kitchen. So that's it for this week, and I will see you next week for our next reading. Bye, everyone.